Welcome to the Procision Football Academy Parents Meeting for the season 2024-2025. In this presentation, we'll take you through everything that you need to know as being part of a parent of a player playing for Procision Football Academy. To give you a bit of background, Procision Football Coaching was established in 2012 with the aim of offering a professional football development and education service to the community. We pride ourselves on the standards that we set for our staff and players, instilling values and characteristics that we believe are fundamental to success both on and off the pitch. The success our players achieve is a byproduct of the environment we create, which is why we have so many signing contracts at professional clubs, enrolling on our 16 to 19s football academies, being offered university places in the UK, or securing scholarships in the US. To explain our development pathway, very simply, we start at the very bottom within our community programming, which offers things like team coaching, club training, after school clubs, holiday courses, where we identify players at the very kind of base of grassroots football. From within that, we then identify players that we might like to join our advanced development programs, which just offer additional training to supplement what they receive from their grassroots clubs. Then this is the area where your child is with us at the moment. So as part of our Procision Juniors, okay, we offer this grassroots club structure in both Reading and Newbury for under 6s to under 15s. At the end of our under 15s, the players have a decision to make. You know, would they like to continue their journey with us and join what we call our pre-football and education academy, and that is for players that want to join our full-time program the year after, working with our academy managers at the under 16 age group. We get to prepare them a year in advance before joining us for their full-time football and education program. In the Football and Education Academy, they combine the study of level 3 qualifications, exactly the same as what they would do at college or sixth form, alongside a full-time football performance program. Once they finish with us after 2 or 3 years, they then have the option to stay with us further, join our degree program, where they can study level 4, level 5, level 6 qualifications, achieving a full honours degree, and playing for our under 21s team. So to explain the Procision Juniors in a little bit more detail, okay, so Procision Football Club is proud to have developed a philosophy and style of play that is applied at every level throughout our player pathway. The pathway is what I've just taken you through on the previous slide. The Juniors is our club platform that provides players with year-round training and competitive fixtures. Our focus is on development over win at all costs, in the knowledge that success will be a consequence of this. We develop our players in 4 key areas, so technical, tactical, physical, and psychological. I can't stress enough at this point that, yes, we are at the forefront of grassroots football in this area, but the development of the individual is far more important than winning trophies. So, I mean, if that is the most important thing to you as a parent or your child, then maybe this isn't the right environment for you. Our juniors is aimed at players who show particular strengths in a number of the 4 areas that we've identified. We don't expect them to be exceptional in all of them, but what we do expect is a willingness to work hard in the areas where we feel they can be stronger. Our role is to provide a platform and opportunities for our players to reach the highest levels of the game. We have a proven track record for doing this, and it will continue to be the ethos that our brand is built upon, doing what is right for each and every player. The support offered by parents is fundamental in being able to achieve this, and we'll outline how you can support us and your child in helping them to be the best they can be. So just to give you a bit of context with regards to who's involved in the running of Procision Newbury. Okay, so the football and education manager, which is the 16 plus age groups, is Gary Clifford. The head of junior football for Newbury is Jason Braidwood. Our foundation and development phase lead is Dan Crane. And Gary Clifford is also the welfare officer. In our 2 phases, okay, so the foundation phase, which is under 7s to under 11s. Okay, we've got this season under 8s, under 9s, under 11s. Our team managers for under 8s are Liam Cusack and Ollie Marland. For our under 9s, it's Ashley Beer and Dan Pino. And for our under 11s, it's Dan Crane. In our development phase, which is under 12s to under 16s, under 12s managers, Ashley Beer, under 13s is Dan Crane, and under 14s is Mark Jones. The competitions that our teams will play in for the 2024-25 season. Okay, so our foundation phase will play in both the Junior Premier League and the Oxford Male League. Our development phase will play in the JPL and compete in the Hampshire FA's County Cup competitions. Our program structure, so how we'll work with both phases throughout the season. So we have 4 weeks of pre-season, which we're currently in the process of delivering. And then once we get into the season, which begins on Monday, the 2nd of September, we then break the season down into 5 blocks. Okay, so block 1 being Monday, the 2nd of September up to October half term. We have a break for October half term. We then go beginning of November through till the 22nd or the week before Christmas. So another 7-week block. At the end of that 7-week block, you'll receive an appraisal from your team manager with regards to how your child's progressing. And then we return after Christmas with 3 more blocks, taking us all the way up until the middle of May. So the training part of our program. So all of our players are required to have the training wear that's identified on the slide, which is a training jersey, training shorts, training socks, the training pants, and a training top. All our players are expected to be in this training kit for every training session that they attend. No other items of clothing are allowed to be on display whilst training. So there will be times when it's raining and it's cold. In those situations, we do have other items on the club shop that you can buy. Alternatively, I mean, you can wear coats underneath your training tops, but what we don't want is we don't want to look unprofessional with players training in random rain jackets and different colors and things like that, because it goes away from the image that we're working towards. Expectations of our players and our parents for training is to arrive in plenty of time for the start of your coaching session, sort of a minimum 5 minutes before. Please park considerately using the main car park at the front of Park House, which is where we'll be training throughout the season. The children are to wear the correct Procision training kit, as we've already said, shin pads and molded boots only for training. Our parents are to remain outside of the 3G at all times. Only coaches, managers, and players are on the 3G for training. You're more than welcome to stay and watch training and offer encouragement, but we would ask that you don't coach. That's why you hopefully you put your trust in us that you believe in how we coach and develop players is the right thing. So therefore, please just let us do our jobs. If you are dropping and collecting, please make sure that you arrive on time for collection. It's really important because our team managers may have to go to other sessions afterwards and need to get away. And equally, like the new teams coming on will need to be getting on with their sessions. Please be encouraging and supportive on the drive home. I think it's one of the most important things with regards to how players feel about training sessions. Ask questions about what they've learned, but please don't offer any kind of feedback or critique on performance. Generally, most players know how they've done. I mean they feel it inside? They know when they've done well. They know when they've maybe not done as well as what they could have done. But the most important thing that we're trying to stress is, what have they learned? Whether it's been a good session for them or maybe not so good, what have they learned from it? And that's all really what we're looking for. So our match kit, okay, so this is on the proviso that we can get sponsors for the match shirts. We do require all of the players to have their own shorts and socks. So real simple, our home kit is all red, so red shirt, red shorts, red socks. Our away kit is a white shirt with black shorts and black socks. And to save on cost, what we suggest is that rather than buying specific match kit for away games, you just use your training match shorts and socks because they will match the shirts perfectly fine. Our goalkeeper kit is all yellow, so it goes with both the home and away kit, so it avoids the need to have a home and away goalkeeper kit. All of our match kit and all of our training wear is available on our club shop, which you should all have the link to from the offer letter that you received from Jason earlier in the season. Our match expectations. So please arrive no later than a designated meet time set by your manager. Typically, this will be 45 minutes before kickoff. Again, whichever venue we're using, please park considerately. Please make sure that your children has the correct Procision kit. So if the manager within the spawn group has said we're wearing our home kit or our away kit, please make sure you've got the correct shorts and socks for that, and shirts, obviously. And make sure you've got shin pads and the correct footwear for the conditions. Whilst we'll play on a mixture of 3G and grass pitches, it's really important that our players have the right footwear for the conditions. We know what it's going to get like in the winter months when it's going to be really muddy. Trying to run around with molded boots on, all that's going to happen is children are going to be slipping about all over the place and be more worried about standing up than actually playing football. So, part of being organised and being professional in what you do is having both a pair of molded and studded boots. If we're playing at a home venue that requires the setting up of goals and respect barriers, we'd like parents to volunteer to help our team managers out. Do you know what I mean? They've got enough on their plate on a match day without having to worry about doing all of those things. It's a 5-minute job. So please put yourself forward and help out. Equally, as we get to the older age groups where offsides come in, then we will require a lines person. So again, we will be reliant on kind of volunteers to help us out to do the line for games. If you looked at it across the season, bearing in mind how many home games you've got and how many players are in a squad, if everybody took their turn, nobody's got to do it more than once or twice a season. On a match day, we'll have a respect barrier on grass pitches, or if we're playing on a 3G, there'll either be a spectator fence, or there's not a spectator fence within the 3G, then we'll ask you to spectate from outside of the 3G. Please create a welcome environment particularly for our home games for parents from the opposition. Do you know what I mean? If they're looking a little bit lost and might need help finding toilets or things like that, please point them in the right direction. Again, on match days, observe and offer encouragement, but please don't tell your child what to do. The team manager or the coach will have given instructions with regards to how he wants the team to play. Anything that you might put forward might contravene that, and then we might confuse the children. That's the last thing we want to do. On the way home, be encouraging and supportive. Ask questions again about what they've learned, but again, try not to be too critical on performance. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's going to have good days. Everyone's going to have bad days. I think the most important thing in all of that, again, is what you've learned from it. Just to give you a little bit of insight into our style of play, and I won't go into too much detail. Very simply, we have a way of playing, and our players have to understand when it's right to play through, when it's right to play over, and when it's right to play around. Okay, that is what we'll be educating them on when they're in possession through our training sessions and seeing if they can put that into practice in match situations. We're expecting all of our players to be comfortable in possession across all areas of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Under pressure, being able to look after a football and not panicking when they receive the ball and just trying to get rid of it. We want players that can be attack-minded and creative. We don't want robots. Okay, so we want players that are free to express themselves, but just making sure that they recognise where to do it on the pitch. That's very, very important. In possession, we want a high intensity. We want the ball moved fast. We want the players to move fast. And equally out of possession, we want to be high tempo as well. So we want to press from the front. We want to make sure the opposition don't have any time on the ball. We want to try and win the ball back as quickly as what we possibly can. So player management is how we'll work with our players. So we'll be transparent in every element of player management. Every player will be treated equally at all times and given the same opportunities in training and matches, providing they meet the Procision level of expectations. Increased opportunities and game time will be as a result of exceeding the expectations that we set. So to give you an idea, so we're expecting attendance at all training sessions leading to a game. So we have 2 training sessions a week. We're expecting players to attend both of those. We're then looking at players' attitude in training. Are you coming with an excellent attitude to learning, to to want to understand, to listen to the coach, to work hard? As a consequence of that, we're looking at your performance in training. Do you know what I mean? How well are you doing? How are you reacting to learning new things? Do you know what I mean? And are you improving gradually? We'll then look at how does that transfer into fixtures. So how are you performing from training into games? We'll be looking at timekeeping, and we'll also be looking at professional appearance. We've said what our expectations are for what we're wearing to training and onto matches. Do you know what I mean? Every player has the right to represent Procision on the pitch, but failure to meet all of these requirements result in either players starting as sub or only playing 50% of the match, or in absolute worst case. So, and I'll give you some examples of things that we won't accept. They may not be involved in the match squad at all. So if they don't turn up to any of the training sessions leading up to the week without any reason given to the team manager, that they won't be involved on Saturday. If they have displayed a poor attitude in training or been disruptive, that may affect their availability for a Saturday. Rules that I'm putting in place for all of our teams is if a player turns up late for the meet time on a match day, then they start as sub. Okay, if they turn up wearing the wrong kit, they won't play, because our image is, and our professionalism is one of the most important things to us. Okay, and ensuring that we are setting ourselves to be above any other grassroots team. I mean, is really, really important, and how we look is a huge part of that. So I wanted you guys to understand that now, so that there's not going to be any misconceptions or misunderstanding if this gets challenged during the season. So our player expectations. So for training, be punctual, wear our training wear, go through the warm-up routine without being prompted. That's obviously more for the older age groups. Treat the facility and other groups training with respect. Help collect equipment and balls throughout the session. Shake the team manager's hand on arrival and at the end of the session. Okay, so that's for training. Real simple things, requires no skill. These are the kind of characteristics and behaviours we expect from our players. In preparation for a match, I mean, we expect you to get a good night's sleep. I know from having my own children, I mean, as soon as they sort of close their door, they're on gadgets and things like that. But we need to get them to have a good night's sleep in order to be able to perform the next day and not be tired. Having a pre-match meal, so making sure that they're coming to games having had breakfast, because we are playing Saturday mornings. Again, being punctual, wearing the correct kit. A big thing for me is showing that you're ready. Is if your boots are clean, that means you've actually thought about playing the next day, and you really want to kind of perform well. And turning up with dirty boots doesn't really give that impression. Going through the warm-up routine without being prompted, obviously depending on the age range, and again, treat the facility with respect. Shaking the team manager's hand on arrival and at the end of the game, shaking the opponent's hand regardless of the result or performance. Always showing good sportsmanship and play within the laws of the game. We don't need to go down to the realms of trying to cheat and do things like that. Do you know what I mean? Our moral values are higher than that. Really important that we accept any decision given by the officials. I don't feel that the highest levels of the game they get set a great example, but we can do something about that actively by educating our players now. And really, really important, we never retaliate verbally or physically, no matter what provocation. It's only going to end one way, and that's not going to be to the advantage of our players or our team, because it will just result in players being yellow carded and red carded. And then in terms of a general code of conduct, okay, we always want our players to conduct themselves professionally, take pride in how you look, respect other people, and be an ambassador for the brand. Okay, you represent Procision, so therefore, I mean, you're the one that's at the forefront of what people think of us. Our maximum effort is a minimum requirement. Okay, and that's in everything that we do. Be a student of the game and take every opportunity to learn. So whether that's training with us, whether that's playing with your mates over the park, whether that's watching TV with your parents. I mean, to take those opportunities to ask questions and learn and watch what other people are doing. A big one, which happens less and less nowadays, is practicing in your own time. Okay. Video games and things like that play a huge part in young people's lives now, which has stopped them probably practicing as much as what players did in the past. And you have to make time for that. Learning and understanding the laws of the game. Okay, so watching football and seeing what decisions referees are given and knowing why they're being given, and giving you yourself every chance to succeed by preparing properly. A big one for us is be appreciative of your parents' support. I mean, we know what lengths you have to go to take them to training and to games. And often it's a thankless task, and you give up so much of your time. And we really expect our players to thank you for everything that you do. And a big one for us is to have a good attitude, both on and off the field. So yeah, all the respect stuff that we spoke about within our behaviours, that's exactly what we're kind of looking for. So communication. So team managers will use spawn groups to communicate information only. Okay, I think the big thing with this is, I mean, we'll have all your training and all your match information on the spawn group. Any other events that come about will be on there. It's not a platform for parents to relay opinions on anything. Okay, so I mean, if you've got anything that you're concerned about, that's to be done privately and with the team manager in the first instance. If you're unsatisfied with how your concern has been dealt with, then it can be escalated to the phase lead, which is Dan, and then the head of the juniors, which is Jason. Okay, what we don't want parents kind of sort of stirring things up unnecessarily if it's something that can just be dealt with very quickly and in a professional and private way. One rule that we do have in place is the 24-hour rule. So any member of Procision staff will not respond to any concerns raised immediately after a game or training. Generally, emotions are high, so we allow a 24-hour reflection period so that any views that are expressed don't have any emotional attachment that goes with them. Okay, and that's on both sides. So really important that you digest, you think about it rationally, and then kind of put your concerns forward in a professional and calm manner. If you are running late or unable to attend training or matches for any reason, please inform the team manager at the earliest opportunity. The team managers work really hard to plan sessions, and it's based on numbers. So, I mean, finding out 5 minutes before a session's about to start that the 2-3 players can't make it really disrupts the session. So the earliest you can do that, the better. Event details, so things like fixtures will be communicated at the earliest opportunity by your team managers. Typically Tuesday at the latest. If it's our home game, it will be earlier because we know when we're playing and what venues we've got booked. If we're away, then that might be slightly later because we're obviously waiting for the opposition to communicate with us. We do ask that parents respect that team managers do have lives outside of Procision and therefore try and keep communication between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. I mean, we don't want messages at 10, 11 o'clock at night when people are trying to kind of relax in the evening. So the payment, so everybody by this point should have signed up to Team Fee Pay. So that is our online payment system. You will have received a link to sign up for your team specifically. So the season fees are 550, regardless of what league you're playing in, because you're on a 2-session per week sort of structure. You'll know about the registration fee. The registration fee is part of the overall fee, so it's not a fee that you pay on top of the 550. That's really important for us because we have like a lot of upfront costs that we have to cover. So like affiliations, insurance, registrations, equipment for the year, all of the things that kind of you don't really think about at times. And yeah, with the number of teams that we've got, that obviously runs quite high. We have 3 different payment plans. Okay, so we have a monthly payment plan, which is taken on the 1st of the month, starting from the 1st of August and runs for 9 payments, the last one being on the 1st of April. That works out after your registration fee at £50 a month, plus the transaction fee that the operator put on. We then have quarterly payments, which again are taken on the first of the month, but they're taken on the 1st of August, 1st of October, 1st of January, and 1st of March. That's 112.50 plus the transaction fee. And then the annual payment, which is taken on the 1st of August, which is 450 plus a transaction fee, and then that's your whole season covered. I just want to go through the payment policies. So these are the things that we have to put in place from experience from previous seasons. And I need you to kind of understand this because these instances may come up in the future. So we operate a strict no refund policy, except in the case of a season-ending injury, and that has to be confirmed by a medical professional, so by a physio or a doctor, that your child can no longer play for the remainder of the year, or a transfer to a professional football academy. So if a player does go on trial at a professional club, that doesn't mean that their payment stops when that trial starts, because we still require the fees to be paid, as the player's place will be reserved in the event that they're not signed by the professional club. As soon as the club confirms that they'd like to sign the player and this is communicated to us, then there's no longer need to pay the fees, and the transfer to that professional club will be organised. We do offer subsidies, and they're provided on the demonstration of families receiving free school meals from their child's school. If you believe you're eligible for this, then you need to supply evidence via email to Jason, so that can be vetted, that we know that's valid when you're asking for the subsidy. If your child does decide to leave and requires to be released to join another club, you must pay to the end of the month that you've decided to leave and return all sponsored kit before we release your registration. It's your responsibility as a parent to cancel the subscription with team fee pay, because we're unable to give any refunds in the event of this not being done. If for any reason Team Fee Pay are unable to make the collection, you'll receive an email request to make payment within 7 days. Should payment not be made within those 7 days, unfortunately, we'll have to suspend the player from training and fixtures. Okay, this will be communicated by the team manager in advance of training. The reason that we have to do this is not because we want to stop children playing football. It's just because we've had instances in the past where the players have, for whatever reason, the parents have stopped making the payments. They've cancelled their car payments, things like that. Continued with us for months. It hasn't been followed up on. They've then left at the end of the year owing us hundreds of pounds, which has obviously caused us problems with all of our costs that we have. If during the course of the season your child gets booked or sent off, you will need to pay the fine that comes along with that. You have 7 days to pay the fine from the moment that we receive notification from the county FA. This has to be done by a bank transfer to Procision Football Club. The bank details are on here, but they will also be placed in your spawn groups so that you've got those. Failure to pay the fines for bookings and sending off, unfortunately, will be escalated to the county FA under their debt collection scheme, and may result in the player being what's called sign-dive, which means they'll be suspended from all football for failure to pay these fines. So it's really important that gets done within the 7 days. Failure to pay the full season's fees, then that debt will be escalated to our solicitors, who will be in touch separately to recover the fees. Any player that has an outstanding debt with us from the previous season, we won't be able to sign the following year. Just some other things that you just need to be aware of. Some I've spoke about and touched upon before. So please encourage your child to practice independently. Please fuel your child in the correct way so they can compete at their maximum. I get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm a parent. But if your child is serious about their football, McDonald's is not a reward for playing well. Okay, all we're doing at that point is just putting loads of saturated fats into their body, which is no good for them in terms of their recovery. So making sure that we're getting their nutrition right, even at these ages, is really, really important. It just creates good habits. As I've said throughout, reputation is everything, and we want to be known for developing players who reach their potential in a fun, engaging, but and I put disciplined environment, but it's just an environment whereby people are respectful, they understand rules. I mean, and parents play a huge part in creating this as well as what we do. We do retrial every year across all of our age groups, and I need everybody to understand that going into this. So we're obviously going to have the season. Players are going to develop really well, or do you know what I mean, or may not. They may just plateau. At that point, we're going to, as we always do, we're going to retrial, and ultimately we're looking to select the players with the most potential to fill our squads for the following year. Okay, so there may be disappointment involved. Hopefully not. But I just want you to understand what you're signing yourself up for and why we're different to, 90% of grassroots clubs out there. As part of when you sign up to Team Fee Pay, you signed up to our codes of conduct as parents and as players. I will stress failure to adhere to these guidelines may result in you and your child being asked to find another club. That only happens in extreme cases. We operate a three kind of strike system. First one will be a conversation. Second one will be more of a kind of formal warning, and then obviously if the behaviours continue, then unfortunately we'll just have to say that you're not right for Procision, unfortunately. On a more serious note, and the reason we've had to put this one in is because we did have an incident last year. If a parent's actions result in Procision being reported to the county FA and a fine imposed on the club as a result of it, we will be asking the parents responsible to pay that fine. And to give you some context, the fine, which was related to an assault on the sidelines by parents at an under nines game, that fine was £250. Okay, so as a club, we are trusting you that the parents can behave themselves on the sideline. I mean, we're giving you all the guidelines, but if you fail to do that, then unfortunately, any fine incurred is going to be passed on to you. Obviously, this is a pre-recorded presentation, so no opportunity to ask questions here. If you do have any questions or anything that you'd want clarity on, then our contact details are here. So head of the Newbury Junior is Jason. His email address, his phone number, Dan's email address, his phone number, and my phone number and email address are there. So please feel free to contact us if you've got any questions on anything that's been covered in this presentation. Many thanks.